What makes someone a champion? It's not the trophies, it's the passion, the persistence, the resilience, the way you show up for others. I'm sitting down with champions, people who turn adversity into strength, creating a better world for those around them. Because when we move forward together, that's the power of us. As an Alaskan Native American of the Sugpiaq people, JD Elquist didn't have the same introduction to lacrosse as many Native Americans in the Northeast do. But when he was first introduced to it in the 7th grade, the game's spiritual power to connect, to heal, and to grow became invaluable to him as he struggled with many of the challenges faced by Native American youth today.
You've told me that lacrosse saved your life. Tell me how that happened.
And growing up as a youth, I had addiction and different things happening in my family. What I recognize is that generational trauma gets passed down, and those effects are very much in place in tribal communities today. And that's why I think you see some of the higher levels of addiction and suicide. And I was in the 7th grade and probably in the one of the hardest situations in my life at that point as a young person. And I had a Native Ed teacher who kind of knew my situation. And she was the one who told me about the game of lacrosse, right? And she gave me some Xerox copies of a book that kind of highlighted the indigeneity of the game. And at that moment, I know for me, that creator introduced the game to me, right? That, really in here.
JD's love for lacrosse, especially its history and culture, continued to grow. And soon, he recognized that other Indigenous youth who have not traditionally had access to the game could also benefit. In 2023, he founded Pacific Northwest Native Lacrosse as a way to reconnect Native American youth with their culture.
You're teaching lacrosse and growing the game in the Pacific Northwest with PNW Native Lacrosse. That was something that you personally invested in, and now you're finding public funding to help grow it. From a challenging youth to now a youth advocate, how do you feel that experience is for you?
It's been everything, being able to start Pacific Northwest Native Lacrosse and see it actually blossomed. So starting the organization, to put it bluntly, was looking at who I was and how the game saved me and it healed me and helped me, and saying it's my time to do that for other youth, right? Specifically Native youth. And that's really what drives the work we do and the work that I get to do every day. This game deserves to be on all reservations and all, urban Native environments.
So our goal real quick is 3 things with the organization. It's camps and clinics in community, right? So we bring the game of lacrosse to various tribes across the Northwest, or Native nonprofits, or urban Native people, or anybody who will let us come and teach. Secondly, we have fully Native travel lacrosse team as a fully Indigenous team with a fully Indigenous coaching staff. Third thing is advocacy, so working with broader kind of lacrosse organizations to help them understand why the game being Native matters.
What you're building with Pac Northwest Native Lacrosse reminds me a little bit of what the folks at Harlem Lacrosse or Bronx Lacrosse are doing, where there is a geography local nature to what you're doing, but you're spread far beyond. Describe what you're going to do in Utah. How are you advocating for the youth and introducing the game and getting sticks in hands?
You have the Ute people, Paiute people, Shoshone people, and Dene, or what we call Navajo Nation people, right? Are kind of broadly the tribal groups that exist in Utah. So we're working with the Urban Native Center in Salt Lake. So there's about 14,500 people, urban Native people. There's a real need and desire to grow lacrosse in their community. And these urban Native centers are really dynamic because 60% of Native people, Alaska Native and American Indian people, live in urban environments, right? So these are their centers, their go-to, their community kind of hubs, right? So if we can, grow lacrosse with them, then I think we're going to have the biggest impact, and then from there get connected more directly with the tribes and continue to grow.
Natives on 3! 1, 2, 3, Natives!
Can you describe what the power of us means to you?
It's all about partnership. It's all about finding people who are champions in communities that we can come alongside and help support and bolster up, right? Because our goal is not to have Pacific Northwest drive that, but rather we come and educate and instill and give equipment and do whatever we got to do but keep it rooted in that culture piece, right? And I think that's the big differences I've seen is that lacrosse kids can come along and teach a Native kid how to play lacrosse, but they're not going to always connect on that cultural level and help them really understand it here. And that's the piece that I think we're really effective with.
Well, JD, you're championing it. And I love the duality approach of the culture and the game. Your message is incredible, and I appreciate you sitting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sort of more what people might be accustomed to seeing.
Totally.
Tell me about these.
Yeah, so you have a stick called a Bagadawan Atig, and the game is Bagadawewan, which is an Ojibwe game. The ball, if you've seen these before, traditional, lacrosse ball. What I love about these sticks is that the intention that's put into them. Same with the Haudenosaunee sticks. And then if you've seen this game played before, this is the Choctaw style game, and they're played like a scissor action, right?
Yeah.
The ball is much smaller, but this game is called Ishtabuli. Yeah. And you kind of clamp down like that, right? When you go to throw, it's over your shoulder, kind of like that, right?
Yeah. You made that look easy.
Yeah, I've been practicing, man. Yeah. So you have the Choctaw game, the Ojibwe game, the Haudenosaunee game. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, super fun.